Hello everyone, TLSG here, back again with another daily Marvel Snap video. So today we have a new hot location. Well, it's an old hot location that has been used before and is recycling back in. And this is one of the ones that I had the most fun with, so I'm really excited for it to come back around. Because Sinister London creates so many really cool and crazy interactions that with the right deck builds, you can swing a lot of games in your favor. And so a lot of like really good on reveal abilities become even better. So Thor can be phenomenal. A Dracula Apocalypse discard can be phenomenal. A Deadpool deck could be really good with something like Forge and just duplicating all of those cards. But of course, in TLSG fashion, we're going to do something a little bit different. Today, we're going to be playing a mixture of a debris, send 'em crap style deck, while also having a couple of really cool interactions where maybe we don't even need to send them stuff and we can just outpower them just by brute force. And so there's a lot of really cool interactions in this deck list. Of course, the simple ones are Hood. It will duplicate that demon token that you get. You have your Black Widow that will send them 2 Widow's Bites in return. And with Sinister London, location is already going to be pretty constricted. And so that makes it even harder for them to play their cards. We have Green Goblin, which will send them 2 Green Goblins. Wolfsbane, I think, is self-explanatory. She pops into that last slot of that location. And then when she duplicates with the Sinister London effect, that will buff it up even further. She will retain those buffs that she got in that first location and become even bigger. And then we have Cosmo to kind of counteract some potential negative gameplay that we might run into. We have Debris to clog up a lot of the board. If you drop Debris, all of a sudden that is sending 4 rocks onto each side of the board, really clogging up and constricting that play space. And then we have one that I really enjoy using is Hulkbuster. So Hulkbuster, the way that he works is his on reveal will merge with one of the cards at that location, and then he will duplicate with Sinister London. So you can utilize this to trigger Debris a second time, to re-trigger Wolfsbane again, to double your sunspots. You can use this in a lot of really cool ways. All right, so first up we have Crush. The first location was Olympia, so we did draw into additional cards. They played their demon token. The only thing we really have to look out for with this list is a potential Killmonger play. If you're seeing a lot of Killmongers, it might be worthwhile to run an armor as well to help protect your cards. So we don't have anything really great here. I'm going to go ahead and throw our Carnage onto the board. We need to clear up some additional space. We just don't have any of our key or primary resources. And so Killmonger is really the biggest concern. Ooh, Sinister London comes up last. We don't have our Sunspot just yet. If we draw into next turn, we can do both Sunspot and Hulkbuster, which is going to be really big. Let's go ahead and send them 2 Green Goblins. Most likely they're running a Destroyer list. Those have been running rampant. I feel partially to blame between me, the meta tier list, and Jeff running it as well. I feel partially to blame for how many of those are around. So they have the double demon, so that tells me I don't think they have a Killmonger. If they do, that's really strange that they threw the demon token down. But we could either go with a Cosmo to try to stop them from destroying these cards, but I think we try to fit in and hope that they don't destroy it this turn. If they don't destroy it this turn, our Debris is going to come down. They do destroy it this turn, unfortunately. And so hopefully that goes over into Titan and not Olympia, is what our hope is. We'll see. Okay, so it does go over into Titan, so perfect. We can cap out the far left and the middle location. And so now after that, we just have to adjust our power and find a way to win from this position. So we need a handful of power here, a handful of power here. Now, if they have a Killmonger, that could do it. I think what we're going to do is drop our Doc Ock into Sinister London. We need to know. We need to know if they're going to be able to drop their Killmonger or not. And so we're going to pull all of their cards into Sinister London. That way they can't play anything next turn unless we draw into a destruction tool. And so they do have a Killmonger. So that clears the far left lane entirely. This middle location is still capped out because they dropped their armor. And so now our Doc Ock is going to come down. It's going to pull in the rest of their cards. We can use that information to gauge how and if we can find a win condition. And so let's pull in one of their last cards. Hopefully this pushes over into the far left lane. It pushes over into mid, which is kind of unfortunate. That just forces us into a tie. And so we have a couple of things that we can do here. We could do a Wolfsbane, which is going to become a 5 power card. Then it bounces over here and becomes a 7 power card. And then we could do a Hulkbuster, which will merge with one of these cards, potentially the Doc Ock, potentially Debris, potentially Wolfsbane, and then it will push over in this location as well. I mean, we need a total of like 5 power here. I think this is probably our best bet. They've already double popped their Novas. We could go with just a simple double Spider-Woman. That's going to be a 7 power play here. It's going to be an 11 power play here because it reduces the cost or the power of their cards. And then it would be a decent power push in this far left lane as well. But I kind of like running this little bit of RNG. Oh man, I wanted to see it play out. The armor did come back and bite them. So I'm thinking if we're seeing destroyers, if we are seeing killmongers all over the place, we probably will need to tech in armor into our list at some point. But let's play a few more games, see if it feels like we need to, and then we can adjust if we feel like it is necessary. Okay, so next up we have German Gary Oak. The first location is the vault. They go ahead and throw their Sunspot onto the board. So I'm a bit confused. They would have gotten more value had they held it for the potential or likely Sinister London location. We were okay. We will capitalize on that where we can. Ooh, and then they drop an armor into the vault, which is beautiful. That will protect anything that we end up pushing over that direction. Now, Black Widow's not huge for us, but it is okay, I think, nonetheless. Let's go with a double Debris. It would be nice if we could draw. It would be really nice if we could draw into our Sunspot, but if not, we are going to kind of force their hand a little bit here. So we're going to force them to cap out the vault. We're going to push a lot of cards into Westview, so they only have one more space available in Westview for any of their cards. And so we can actually... We can either do a Hulkbuster, we can do a Carnage that will clear the... Yeah, let's do the Carnage. Let's do the Carnage play here. That will clear up a lot of space in this lane, potentially in this lane as well. We can skip on turn 5 into a double Infinite, which I feel pretty good about. Let's go ahead and do that. We don't get all of their location capped out, but we get a lot of their board space taken up. Having only one space to duplicate a card into constricts them quite a bit. And so we have the 8 power Carnage that does come over and clear up our Hellfire lane as well. So it's an 8 and a 12 power play respectively. We could do Doc Ock to force them into capping out this location, potentially coming over here. I don't know what I like better though, because this is 20 power and then this would be 7. That'd be decent. I anticipate a destroyer at some point, and honestly we can beat a destroyer. So if they skip here and then we do an Infinite here, I think we can I think we can overcome the power of a destroyer if that is the play line that they're going with. I'm going to go ahead and skip. Doc Ock feels really, really good. Ooh, that is not what I thought we were going to be going up against, was the Devil Dino. So now if they drop Destroyer, it will kill these cards. So they could do maybe a Taskmaster, which would end up doing another 13 here. But I don't think that's enough. We have 20 and 20. Yeah. And so with this list, anytime there's not a Killmonger, it feels really, really good. And this one actually, we didn't need our Sunspot to be able to find a win condition. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one and keep these wins going. I really like this. This feels fresh. The Destroyer meta that we were in was starting to feel old pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. This will be a nice day break from it. All right, next up we have King Bit. And the first location is Sinister London, so we will be able to duplicate some of our cards. Ooh, interesting. They go with Ant-Man. So they probably don't have a Killmonger, which is good. That's what we want to see. But at the same time, they probably have like a Spectrum that they're wanting to drop on the board, maybe a Wong Spectrum, if they feel like they have enough space to do that. And so we're going to go ahead and clog their hand just a little bit with the armor. So it could, oh no, that's still ongoing. It could be a Destroyer, it could be a Spectrum. We're going to send them a Black Widow so that they have to play a card onto the board. Next, we're going to go with a Debris and then a Hulkbuster into that Debris to clog up their space even more. They're going to be so mad. They don't know what's coming. And then while we're waiting for them to decide, I have a couple of shout outs that I want to give. Within the last couple of days, even though we haven't been doing lunch live streams or any live streams, we had a few new channel members join us. We had Gian Francisco, who joined us as a TLSG fan. We had Debrum, who recently gave us a super chat and used our free-to-play Wong list to climb to infinite, and so they joined us as a team member as well. And then we had Androke Guz, who upgraded their channel membership to further help support the channel and my content. So thank you so much, everybody, for all of that incredible support. So with our double debris, we ended up capping out 2 of their 3 locations. We could skip on... they're going to have this space free, so they could potentially do a spectrum bonus. So how do we want to do this? We could do Hulkbuster, which will push over, because we have to play a card into the Avengers compound on 5. Which does feel pretty bad. If we do a Hulkbuster here, that would push us up over power here, but not quite here. Oh. No, we ended up not doing anything. Oh, no. Well, that feels pretty bad, unfortunately. So let's go with the Doc Ock into mid. That's pretty safe. We can't pull anything. We don't get hurt in any way. If they do a Spectrum, that is going to be 2-4-6, which pushes them up to 14 for a tie. That pushes them up to here, and so they're still going to lose by quite a bit in this location. We can then do a Spider-Woman here, which would duplicate over here, reduce their power even further. And so even though we accidentally missed our turn 4 play, the double debris was just too much. It's just... I'm so sorry for what we are unleashing onto the meta, the one-day meta. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one and see if we can keep it going. Okay, so next up we have Stratos. And so as the game is unfolding, we are currently at 3,678 subscribers. We are so very close to that 4,000 subscriber milestone, which is going to be huge. It's phenomenal. It's so much more than I ever really thought that we could get to. And so if you're watching and you're enjoying the video so far and you're not currently subscribed, definitely consider subscribing. It helps the channel out. It helps me know that you're enjoying the content, and it helps get us that much closer to that next channel milestone. And so the first location was New York. We ended up skipping because we didn't have a turn 1 play. We do have Carnage, but I don't think we play that just yet. Next turn in Sinister London, we could do something like a Green Goblin, unless we draw something just a little bit better. And it looks like they're still throwing cards into Monster Metropolis, which is kind of strange. Let's go with the Green Goblin. That's going to send them 2 Green Goblins onto the board, which is huge. And then we can kind of assess. If we get a Sunspot, we can do that along with Hulkbuster on the same turn. The double Ironheart is interesting. I'm curious. They're going to be going with a Devil Dino then, yeah? Because they're trying for hand space. They're trying for like card reload, and so it would only make sense that they did a Devil Dino at some point. And so let's go ahead and do our Hood and our Carnage. We don't draw into anything necessarily great. If we don't fear what they have for us, then we can do a Doc Ock next turn. Okay, and so we are going to duplicate our Hood. That is going to give us 2 demon tokens that we can use. If we're lucky, our Carnage will pop over to the left. Nah, never lucky. That is okay. So we do have our Infinite. We could skip this turn, but I think what we want to do instead is do a Doc Ock. Then on the last turn, we can do something like a double demon, which will duplicate. We can do a demon and a Wolfsbane. We have a lot of like flexibility on that final turn. And so we're going to go with the Doc Ock to pull into cards that they don't want us to pull into. We're going to cap out Sinister London and the far right lane. So whatever they drop in Sinister London, probably a Devil Dino, is only going to have 1 path to go. But what we can do is try to find a win condition here. And then that's going to be really, really tough for them to kind of influence or impact. But they do have the New York, so they can move a card over if they feel like they need to, or if it would be more beneficial. I think we shift our Carnage over. That will allow us to do a demon, and a Wolfsbane. So the demon's going to go here or here, and here or here. And that will allow us to kind of maximize on our demons and our Wolfsbane at the same time. Let's go ahead and snap. I feel pretty good. They could have a big play here, but I don't see it. Even if they move a card over, they only have 1 space, so it can't duplicate no matter what they have. Maybe they drop something like a Nick Fury to reload their Devil Dinos. We'll see. We'll see what they end up dropping here. And then hopefully it's... Okay, so Moon Girl. It's not quite a Nick Fury, but it does reload their hand so that they get that max Devil Dino. And so we have the Demon, and then the Wolfsbane. No matter where it goes, it's going to get that max bonus. And so we win in Sinister London. We win in Monster Metropolis. They take New York, but that is absolutely fine. That is absolutely fine. We will take that for 4 cubes. That is 4 games in a row. 4-0 right now. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one, see if we can keep this going. So next up we have Arthur, and the first location is Sinister London, and in our starting hand we have Sunspot and Infinite. And so we snap right away. We don't know what they're running. They could be running a Killmonger, which would completely wreck our entire game plan. But if not, we get a lot of upside here. And so the secondary location is Stark Tower. I think we just pass. We're getting 4 power for passing for not using our energy. For every energy we don't use, we get 2 power. We get 2 power in return, which is huge. If we can draw into our Hulkbuster, it'd be massive. No, not quite. So do we do one of these? We can do a Hood and a Carnage. Nah, we're just gonna pass. We're just gonna pass and let this absorb. They have Mysterio, so this deck could run a Killmonger. If it does, that's kind of scary. We don't have Cosmo either, and so since we don't have Cosmo in hand, we don't really have any competitive advantage. What we're gonna have to rely on is if they use Killmonger, that maybe our double 20 power in 2 lanes is enough. I mean, probably not, but maybe. Ooh, that's very, very bold. They went with a strong guy in Sinister London meta, where we can throw things like debris, like Green Goblin. Unfortunately, we had a really bad hand here, and we weren't able to push those cards. We weren't able to do a debris to finish capping it out. But let's go ahead and see. So they do 2 cards here. One is a Scarlet Witch. Ooh, that's awful. And then one is Wolfsbane. They have 3 cards left in hand. Unless they have like 2 discard cards, that becomes really difficult for them to win and trigger the strong guy bonus. Do we even play anything? It feels terrible, but do we play anything here? We can skip. They get a 6 power bonus here. We match that here. I don't think they can overcome the power here. Do we skip? Do we play 1 card and just rotate out Killmonger? Is this a Killmonger? If there's no Killmonger, we're fine. Oh my gosh. What is this? That is the beefiest Sunspot I've ever seen. Beefy. Oh my gosh. We played 1 card and went on oh man, gosh. Arthur, I'm so sorry. If you were watching this, I'm so sorry. Oh, right. So I just learned something about our little deck list here. So we just had 3 games in a row that did not have Sinister London. And we lost all 3 of them very, very badly. And so this deck list performs very well with Sinister London, but it doesn't have as much synergy to hold itself or hold its own whenever that location is not in effect. And so that is, I mean, it's important to know or to note that if you don't draw into it, your win rate drops pretty drastically. And so at that point, you might want to concede a little bit more often than you would have otherwise. And so they do send us their Hood with Viper, which is unfortunate. We did already just drop our Carnage. But let's go with the double debris. They're going to start clogging up the board. Actually, Viper is very much a board block card, and so I would not doubt it if they dropped a debris of their own. So in order to make sure that we don't cap out all of the locations, I'm going to send them a Green Goblin here. I'm going to send them a double Green Goblin. Next turn we can do like a Demon and a debris. If they are not careful, we will end up finishing off and capping out their locations entirely. All we need is 2. So if it goes here and then here with our debris, perfect. At that point we win. And so let's go with the double debris, or let's go with the double Demon and then the double debris. Here goes nothing. If they drop a debris of their own, they're in for a rude awakening. Anytime there's Sinister London or a location that doubles your own reveal ability, so like Kamar-Taj, Debris is huge. Debris blocks so much space whenever you have it duplicated, and for 3 energy at that point, your value is skyrockets. And so it's absolutely phenomenal. We could actually block off the entire board from them here. And so there is one. I guess we can't block off the whole board. We just guarantee that we block off 2 locations. And so we win the middle. We win the right. Currently, New York is going to allow them to move 1 card on that final turn. But that's fine. That's absolutely fine. They can move 1 over, but we can as well. And then ours will be able to duplicate, but theirs won't because they only have that 1 little spot that's open. We should have snapped whenever we knew we had debris. Unfortunately, we did not. But that is game 6. Let's go ahead and go 1 more. See if we can get a really good fitting game for that final game. Okay, so next up we have Sevturian, I think. The first location is Titan. We're going to go ahead and drop our hood onto the board. If we draw into Carnage, perfect. If not, we don't always want to duplicate our hood. Sometimes it's just better to duplicate our demon token instead. And so that is exactly what we're going to do here. We can duplicate our demon token depending on what we draw into. We might even duplicate it again with Hulkbuster and then push 10 more power onto the board. It does get pretty risky because all of these are going to be 1-cost cards. Ooh. Let's go with Sunspot instead, which is still risky. If they have a Killmonger, all of a sudden our whole board can be wiped very, very quickly. They drop a wave. Had we skipped there, we would have been able to do our Infinite, but unfortunately we did not. We're going to drop a Doc Ock. That's going to pull into their entire hand. The whole thing. They snapped. It's a little scary, but I think overall it's fine. Doc Ock is going to be a pretty good play to force them into positions that they don't want to be in. So they drop 1 card, we make them drop 3 more that can't be duplicated by Sinister London. So all of a sudden they're losing a lot of tempo and a lot of value in that play already. And so let's go with the Doc Ock. Depending on what it draws into, it could end up being bad for us. It just depends on what they have and what they draw into. But what it does do is finalize those locations. So Ultron. Boom, game over. That is huge. You're brave for running Ultron with Sinister London as the hot location. So very brave. So very brave. So they had the Khazar, they had the Blue Marvel, which was oh my gosh, what a godly pull for them. I mean, we're fine. We're gonna be able to win, regardless. But that is godly. That is a godlike pull. So we can skip here. That is going to push our Sunspot over here. Both will be fine. And then we can drop Infinite on the final turn. So no worries here, but that is huge. Like, that is like ideal. That is like an in-game goal for an Ultron list. Oh no. Okay, well, that's not exactly what we wanted to happen, but it's fine also. So let's go with the Infinite. That'll push us to 34. We win this lane, we win this lane. I didn't think about it moving our Sunspot potentially into Sinister London, but it's fine. It is all good. Let's go ahead and lock that in. If they're are you gonna stay? Oh, maybe they didn't think we had enough reach. My friend, we had the reach. We win with 2 34s. That is a beautiful pull. Like as far as play line goes, that's probably close to what they wanted to drop anyways. Other than like duplicating their onslaught into Blue Marvel, into Khazar to like really elevate that buff. That was fitting of a final game. So with that win, we are going to go ahead and end the video here. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you leave it a like and a comment down below. We are getting very, very close to global launch, so please join me on launch day for an extended live stream. We're going to be live pretty much all day. We're going to be doing some really cool events and challenges, and I think I have a line on some potential giveaways that we can do as well. And so, as always, this has been TLSG. Later, guys.